Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Torment Tides of Numenera. This is a game that's on early access Steam right now, guys, for $24.99. Well, no, actually it's $44.99, guys. Sorry about that. It is a really cool game. It's a sequel to the original Torment game. Was it Planescape Torment? Is the first one that came out way back when. It is a fantastic game. If you have not played that game before, I would just highly suggest you go back and try it out. Not because you need to know any of the story that happened with that one necessarily, but because it is a fantastic game. I know I've said that every single time I've done one of these videos, but I could not stress that point enough because it is one of my favorite games back in the day. So definitely go over there and give it some love, give it a shot if you can, if you want to. Definitely worth your time. But we're going to be continuing where we left off from the last one. Now, the last 3 or 4 episodes, we have been doing the beginning part of the game where we go through a lot of the memories, go through a lot of the conversations, where we have to pick who we want to become by the choices we make. It, of course, affects the character stats that we have. In fact, you can come over here into the character screen, the character sheet, and you can see what our stats are right now. We have 9 into might, 11 into speed, and 13 into intellect. Is that the highest you can possibly get? No, it's not, because we did lose a few points and gained a few points with failures and things of that sort. So that could be a little bit higher. And of course, you can specialize in whatever you want. And then, of course, you also have the branches that you can go down to with the tides. And I went down mine towards, I think it said more of the gold and something else, for being like the chivalrous guy, the guy who's going to help more people than anything else. But you can pick whichever ones you want to go down and alter your class based off of those needs, based off of those choices that you want to go with. Of course, you have your inventory. I don't really have anything to put on my guide just yet. I have a couple items right here that you can use. Right-click to inspect. If you want to click on them, you can see a little bit more of a detailed, description of what those things are and how they work. Kind of cool. You can use the item, you can drop the item. We're going to hang on to those. We're not going to do anything with them just yet. Now, the one thing we need to do is come through this little portal over here and see where that takes us. That's at least what our little specter over here has told us, who's part of ourselves, because right now we're still on our mind. So for those of you who are just joining us, it kind of gives you a recap of where we're at. For those of you who are coming back and watching again, you already knew all of that, but this is where we go through and go into the unknown, guys, because I've never gone through this. This is a blind playthrough for all of us, so for at least for me. This is that portal that will lead you back to your body, but first you need to choose a type. Type selection has not yet been implemented for beta, so choose it here. Tell me about the types. I want to be a glaive, a nano, or a jack. Well, it told us at the very beginning what these did, but for those of you who didn't catch that and went ahead and skipped over it, let me click on this and it will tell you about the types. Let's see, let's scroll up a little bit so we can see it. Your type is what your character does. There are 3 types to choose from: glaive, nano, and jack. The glaive is an elite warrior of the 9th world. Whether through brute strength or speed, melee or range combat, the nano seeks to understand the relics of the past using ciphers to perform amazing feats. The jack is a bit of both. Capable fighter who uses prior world technology to his advantage. The jack is the most versatile type. I think I'm going to go with the nano, but going with the jack sounds like the best choice for somebody who's not quite sure what route they want to go down. I just like being able to use ciphers yeah, I would love to be able to use old world technology too to my advantage. That sounds pretty cool. So yeah, I'm not really going to go down the melee type, though. So, yeah, let's go with the nano. You are now a nano, a master of Numenera in the past. So, you are now ready to return to your body. Okay, so this is going to be the first time we're getting to our body. You've reached Tier 1. Allocated points to any of your pools. 6 points remaining. I'm going to go with... Wow, we already got 16 into intellect. We lost a little bit into our might. I wonder if that's going to affect how much strength, how much weight we can carry with our items. I don't know yet, but if it does, that might be a good thing to put a couple points into, but we won't find that out until after the fact, and we'll just have to deal with the consequences. So I'm going to get this up to 20. 17 was the good point to put it up to in the very first one for intellect. I'm going to put 1 into speed, because I like being able to... Actually, let's go 2 in the... No. We'll do 1 into speed and 1 into strength, make it all even. Because I like to be able to go faster if I'm going to be using, spells to be able to get out of the way is a nice little thing. But having a little bit extra strength will probably come in handy as well. You've reached, I can't confirm. Oh, I need to go down a little bit more. Select a skill to increase. Let's look at this. What skills do we have? Lore, machinery. Academic knowledge of machinery, mechanisms, and the physical sciences, untrained. Lore, natural. Knowledge of the natural sciences and physical creatures, and mystic. Knowledge of sciences that are not exactly physical nor natural, including strange and transdimensional creatures. Well, if you look on the right-hand side, we already have those. We already have amnesia, cipher use, and lore mystical. We don't really need another one in mystical unless we want to make it even stronger than before. But I would like to have at least one skill into machinery to try that out at least. Choose abilities to learn or improve. Current tier, previous tier. Okay, so scan thoughts. You can read the surface thoughts of most people or creatures you speak with. This can sometimes be useful when navigating tricky conversations, so I might actually go with that because I like doing the conversations the most in these types of games. Onslaught unleashes a blast of concussive energy to bludgeon one target, dealing 4 damage. Let's see, makes affected targets vulnerable to 1 damage type. Might be kind of cool. A shield shimmers around you at all times, giving you an extra +1 armor. I definitely like that. Dazzle creates a prototype display which stuns an enemy. Well, that sounds kind of cool. Protects yourself from a chosen damage type. Well, I'm gonna go with scan thoughts just because I like the fact that we'll get something out of that. And then I think I'm gonna go with ward. Although, to be honest, guys, these protective spells in games like this usually are not the way to go. You know, you guys have heard the song from the cheerleaders, be aggressive, be aggressive. You got to do that in these games. Being defensive is nice. It definitely gives you a little advantage sometimes, but most of the time, if you're aggressive and you can get in there, kill the enemy, daze them, stun them, you know, hit them with massive spells, you're gonna fare a lot better than going the defensive route. But I kind of want the extra defense because I'm gonna be, you know, like a mage kind of wizard type thing, and I want to be able to take a few extra hits than you probably normally would be able to, because I imagine you're gonna be pretty weak. So that's the reason I'm going with that one. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit. Again, these choices may not be right. Again, I've never played this game, so we're going to be learning as we go. Abilities unlock, Tidal Surge. So we got an ability anyways, which is Tidal Surge. Plus 100 damage attack, and defense task difficulty -6. All damage taken -75%. All damage dealt doubled. Attack and defense task difficult is the exact same thing. All damage dealt doubled. All companions take 7 intellectual damage. Usable only during a crisis. Effort on defense level 1 decreases difficulty on speed defense task. All defensive task difficulty -3 when active. Okay, so let's confirm that. And there we go. We got our passive ability over here, practice with light weapons, scan thoughts, and ward. And then we have the active abilities that we'll have to actually use during combat if we want to take advantage of those things. So I think that's pretty nice. We've gotten some really good stuff. The inability ones, I don't know what that means. It means that we don't have the ability to do those. Like, we've gotten negative for the skills. I don't know for the abilities, but we'll definitely have to look at that as time goes on. Change character class, change character decide. Well, let's look at that. I don't really want to change anything, but I just want to look at it real quick if it will load up. Hopefully I can exit out without making any changes. Let's see. I guess we're clever already. You can do learn it. You can do mechanical. We're going to leave what we have there already. We're going to leave it the way it is. And let's hit confirm. Are you sure you wish to proceed? Yes, this is the last chance to change. We're going to keep it the way it is. Again, all the choices we have made up to this point has helped shape the class that we are using. So if you decide that you made some of the wrong choices or you wish you had done something different, that right there would be the time to go back and kind of fix those mistakes. But for me, I kind of want to see what happens as we go through naturally. When you expand effort in either conversation, or didn't get to read all of it, but it was there for a few seconds if you guys wanted to go back and check it out. Wow, she has like 3 people on her. Where did he fall from? His body smashed to talk. No, all I saw was the corona, not his original point. But look, he's healing already. Spontaneously regeneration. Will you look at... Wait, I know that face. Oh, wow. Did I just knock him out? Holy crap. I got some power on me, man. Oh, what was that? What did you do, Castell? His tone has become accusatory, suspicious. You open your eyes. The first thing you notice is the man's kaleidoscope of tattoos. Writhing across his forearm, he wears a long, dark coat built at his waist, supply filling his pockets. The boots are worn and stained with years of travel. Castige, you blame me? He admitted the internal psychology, I don't know what, in reaction in response to the fall, probably related to that fantastic healing process, obviously. Her voice rolls and hisses, and you have to rub your eyes to be sure that you're not seeing double. Faint echoes of her actions trail from her, each nearly mimicking her, though some act and react to stimulus that you can't perceive. Her vivid hair and outrageous clothing remains constant through these shadows. So she sees, I mean, he sees it too. There's several different, copies of her kind of moving around. It has to be some kind of magic. Oh yes, it's obvious, Castell. His voice is grim and clipped. Then he sees you looking at him. You're no ordinary mortal. We know that much. Start talking. His face is hard and set. Scan thoughts. He's the changing god. Cecile is deliberately blinding herself, but why? I don't know. I guess we're going to go with, I'm no ordinary mortal. What do you mean? Who are you? Where am I? How did I get here? Was I dead? Let's go with number 1. You really don't know? He cocks his head to the side. I'm starting to think you're not him. Starting to think, Alarin, tell me, is it a novel experience? People giving each other a hard time already. Oh, man. Scan thoughts. And being more paranoid than usual, how long must I put up with him? Okay, so she doesn't like him very much. It's his face. I've never seen any other people rebuild themselves like that. Only the changeling god could have helped him or healed him so quickly. He sighs and rubs his face, trying to regain his composure. Maybe you could help me for a change. You know what this means to me. You're familiar with the words changing? No. It implies inconstant. Thus, the changeling god may have changed. Well, come on. I have no idea what they're talking about. This is like throwing me in the middle of a story and just assuming that I know what's going on. I do like it. I mean, it's definitely a unique take on a video game. Several versions of her shrug, and she addresses you. You have to forgive him. He believes you're someone he once knew, even though it's painfully obvious to anyone that you are newly born. Whoa, let's go back up a little bit. You are newly born. Her most solid self, courteous while others bow or spin. I and my sister am Callistes. This is Alangren. We are explorers, knowledge seekers. That's how we came to be in this room. If I'm not mistaken, you were what we called a cast-off. The changing god created you, body and mind. You, sire, used your body for a time, then abandoned it for some reason of his own. When his mind departed for a new experience, you were born in his cast-off shell. Who are you again? Where are we? What is this place? Who is the changeling god? Where are the other cast-offs? Wow, a lot of questions to ask. Let's see, who are you? Explorers, he said curtly. When you crashed into this dome, we saw an opportunity. Didn't know what kind of opportunity, though. Where are we? What is this place? A sanctum of yours, sire. The common belief is he has several such places throughout the 9th world, possibly other worlds as well. We were only just able to gain entry to this one because of your grand entrance. Let's see, who is the changing god? That's something coming from you. Well, we don't have any memory, dude. You already know that. She gives him a side glance. The changeling god is your sire, dear. He discovered a path to immortality long ago, a means to transfer himself to a new body of his own creation. I don't think he knew, however, that when he abandoned one body, another mind was birthed to fill the void. Oh, he knew all right. He eyes up and down coldly. The only thing the changing god cares about is himself. He doesn't give a single thought for those he leaves behind. Scans thoughts. I'm certain he knew the consequences of what he asked me to do. Let's see, are there other cast-offs? Dozens, hundreds, who can say? Your sire has been doing this for several centuries. Though if all of them were born the way you claim to have been, it's a wonder any of them survived. I have to agree with that. I guess he was flying through the sky when he decided to do what he was doing. So you say, I was born when the changing god left, but why am I not dead? Think about it. If you're the kind of person who make your body into anything you want, what do you do? If you've constructed bodies for centuries, you want to make each one better than the last. You want to live forever. You're not going to let your life end by accident. No, you're going to make strong bodies. Fast, powerful, maybe throw in regeneration while you're at it. She looks up and down, her smile suddenly unnerved. Perhaps the changing god fled because he didn't want to wear those scars of yours. I didn't know I had any scars. Let's see, what was the blast of energy when I woke? As I was telling my colleague, it was obviously a physiological reaction of some kind. I've never witnessed the birth of a cast-off, but yes, it could have very well have been caused by a geez, I can't say any words tonight, guys. I'm just gonna skip it. Don't worry, I don't believe it caused any real harm, not to me at least. Jeez, I can't believe I can't say that word. I know what it is, just my mind doesn't want to work. Really, you have been more abrasive than ever since we came in here. He shoots her a sidelong look. She just can't empathize with other people unless she's experimenting on them. I definitely don't want to get on her bad side. Do you know anything about the tides? Are you sure that surge didn't hurt you? Oh, let's go back up. If it did, it was damaged in our minds, though how you'd check if it cracked her, I couldn't say. Tough to find normalcy there. At least we know it didn't hurt Algarim. That skull is as thick as organic stone. They must know each other for a long time to be able to throw barbs like this back at each other and not really care either way. Let's see, you know anything about the tides? I've heard that term before, a subject your sire studied in great depth. I'm afraid it isn't my field of inquiry. If the changing god abandoned my body, where is he now? Let's see. If he abandoned your body, then his consciousness fled to another. He eyes you keenly. So they don't even believe that I'm not the god. Oh, do stop. The look she gives Algarim is equally piercing, amplified by the withering glares of her sisters. If there's one thing we know about the changing god, dear, it's that he always has a the child was born here. The object of your obsession will have been reborn somewhere else. So these guys are probably married or something like that, it sounds like. How can you be sure this body is a cast-off? Are you sure that surge didn't hurt you? What kind of changing body like? Again, I want to ask about something. Well, let's see. Are you sure this body's a cast-off? Just to make sure. You mean aside from the miraculous reformation? For one thing, there's your tattoos. All cast-offs have one, though its purpose is beyond me. And then, of course, there's your delicious naivete. Well, he could be faking it. You don't live hundreds of years without learning to lie convincingly. I guess that's true. Oh, she sighs in expiration. Then she says to you, what do you think? Are you a newborn child, or are you a powerful mortal whom death has robbed of his memories? Scans thoughts, this should be interesting. I survived that fall and have skills and powers I don't recall learning. What if I am the changing god? There's so much I don't know or remember. I think I must be a cast-off. You obviously knew the changing god, Algarim. What do you think? Am I him? I'm gonna go with that one. That one sounds like the best one. That is just the kind of question he would ask. He scrutinizes you in a way he hadn't before. You carry yourself with the same arrogance, that glint of knowing everything about our world and the worlds before. Your personality? No, you don't act like him at all. You could be him. I hope not, for your sake. That would have a lot of answers from a lot of people. Scans thoughts, people like me. People like me, huh? And what are you basing that conclusion on, Algarim? Your feelings? He looks away, and his composure slips a little. Gods, you're so rancid sometimes. Oh, man. They have to be buried. I bet they are. Are you sure I didn't hurt you? Bodies again. What? To talk about something else. Let's do that one. Of course, child. You must be so disoriented. Okay, so we've already know who they are. We already know about the changing god. Can you tell me about the other cast-offs? Can I ask you about some other questions about this cast-off body? Before I woke, I was in some kind of laboratory with a glowing specter. Let's ask about that. With how hard you hit the ground, I'm surprised that's all you saw. Okay, so they just think it's probably an illusion based off of delirium from hitting the ground so hard. Can you ask me more questions about the cast-off's body? Certainly, dear. What do you want to know? Are you sure that surge? What are the change? Seriously, it just takes me right back to that. Let's see. Why do you seem to hate the changing god so much? The ghost of a smile touches his mouth as if he's privy to a joke, but it doesn't reach his hard eyes. He's lived longer than anyone in the ninth world, hasn't been much of a philanthropist in all that time. He's helped some people, sure, but it's always been in his own self-interest. He's gotten away with loads of skist over the years. Well, I guess he sounds like a pretty bad guy. Can I ask you some questions? No. It's falling from the sky didn't kill me. Is there anything that can? An excellent question. Having seen your regeneration ability in action, I suspect there are primarily a physical, a regrowth. If that's the case, you'd be unable to survive most variety of psychonic, oh my god, or molecular decompression, disintegration, conflagration, or so forth. Degeneration disease could have posed a problem, and I know of several entities capable of psychotic destruction. Okay, so a lot of words. A lot of words I don't want to read. As she's, let's scroll up because that went too far. As she speaks, a vision flashes into your mind. It's not yours exactly. Somehow you know this is a memory of the changing gods. You are in a dark room lit by a myriad of blinking lights and holograms. For the many machines surrounding you, what about a body that can withstand this sorrow's attack? Says a voice. It seems to be coming from one of the machines. No, you replied. That thing has no respects for barriers of any kind, physical, temporal, or psychological. This is the only way. Okay, the only way for what? With a gesture, with a series of gestures, you bring up an image of crystalline pod. If that resonator chamber works, it will give us the power to stop the Sorrow's hunt once and for all. We just need to fight focal point, a catalyst. Let's see, where did it leave off? A catalyst. The memory fades. Castile is still talking. You realize that the device you saw in the memory is identical to the one behind you now. It looks like the Spectre had described it. Transparent sarcophagus inside a crystalline dome with a mechanical arm array around it on a middle ring. Unfortunately, the dome is shattered and the sarcophagus is cracked and one of the arms is in place on the floor. Whatever its function, it clearly needs repair. I don't know if we can repair it yet, if we don't have the skill for it. Or flesh-eating virus. One presumes disfigurement by the iron wind would likewise be devastating enough to... Why, she's been going on this whole time about things that can kill me. So, yeah, I'm guessing we're not invulnerable. We're going to have some challenges up ahead. I think he gets the point, Castile. I saw the vision of myself in another time and place. You didn't see it too, did you? Let's see what they say. I saw you stare into space while Castor graphically described all the ways you could die, but that's about it. I only noticed because I did the same thing. Do you guys know anything about the sorrow? I had my share of sorrow, but never the sorrow. What's that, a disease? Her mouth compresses in a tight line. I know nothing about it. Who are you again? What is the changing guide? Can you tell me about the cutoff? Let's see. Do either of you know how to fix the crystalline chamber there? Algrim chuckles, then firm and certain, he says, not likely. Though it might be the impossible, you need people with the appropriate knowledge. I'm sure the cult of changing God would hold the answer. Okay. Her distaste is evident in the expression of her echoes, although the face of the one in the lead remains carefully impassive. You turn to the insane to help a newborn? Where's your judgment, Algrim? I would take him to the Order of Truth. What's the Order of Truth? Knowledge seekers. The learned who try to wrest secrets from the heart of the prior world. They gather in the city to exchange their findings and help humanity to build a brighter future. She smiles brightly. Our friend Aglim here was once one of them. Frauds, quackslavers, and charlatans. They don't have all the answers and do not trust them with the changing God secrets. You're just angry that they couldn't help you with yours. Her echoes tingle lightly. Laughter. But I am being too cruel, dear Aglarim. Let us take our new friend to the Order. Let's see. Can you tell me about the Order of Truth again? No. Castile, will you take me to the Order of Truth? I have some questions. Thank you. Let's see. What other questions can he ask? We already know all that. Thank you for your help. Farewell. What did you say about the chamber again? Order of Truth. I could allegedly take you there. Okay, so will you take me to the cult of the changing gods? Ask about the changing gods cult. Despite what she says, they're not insane. They're eccentric. She laughs, but he soldiers on. They're worshippers of, well, of you or your sire, the changeling god. They devote their lives to understanding your kind. I don't know which one to go with, to be honest, guys, but we're going to go with the Order of Truth because I want to go down the right path. I don't think, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going by what she says, but they sound crazy, so I'm going to kind of steer away from them for now. Although I probably should take his warning into heart because he did say they can't be trusted, so at least she didn't say that about the other guys. She just said they were crazy. Of course, once I provide an introduction to the priest, we'll have your chamber fixed in no time. You'll end up without your clothes and broken in a ditch while she'll laugh it off as a good experiment. It's probably the best I come with you as well. Suspicious as always, Grim. Child, the world is an exciting place, but it's full of dangers. Rest assured, one of us will get you safely to where you need to be. I'll be right behind you. A sunny smile crosses her face. I shudder to think what a Grim might do to the child. Can you tell me? Nope, we're good to go. Okay, so we are in the game finally. Let's look around a little bit and see what we got over here. A mechanical arm lies on the floor, presumably broken during your fall. Sparks pour from the arm's shattered housing, filling the area with greasy stench. Examine the housing. Attempt to scavenge what you can from the arm's housing. Lower mechanical quick fingers. Let's examine it first, and then we'll try to take it what we can. The sharp pointing apparatus that formerly topped the device apparently appears burnt out and useless. But the experiment in the base remains at least somewhat operational, as the constant stream of sizzling motes can attest. So let's go ahead and salvage what we can. Easy or routine? I'm gonna go with 9 out of 12. Each level of effort reduces the task. Yeah, let's go with easy. Success. Taking care to work around the sparks, you managed to extract an unbroken component from the housing interior. You don't see anything else of value inside the demolished machine, and we gained an item which is called a standstill. No idea what that does, but it pays to look around apparently. Let's go over here and look at the crystal in the center. Oh, and they're going to come with me apparently. Sunlight falls through the ragged hole in the roof onto a shattered resonance chamber. It is hard to believe that you did this, that you plummeted through the curve of the pale blue sky, crashed through the dome, and broke this delicate machine with your body. It is hard to believe that you are still alive. I have to agree with him on that. 4 mechanical arms hang over the center of the device, above the cracked semi-transparent crystal of the sarcophagi. The 5th arm lies broken on the floor among the scattered Sith and crystal shards, and a metal ring surrounds the array, dented and broken by your impact center, or crater. Take a closer look at the sarcophagi. Let's do that. The padded interior beneath the coffin's cracked lid looks like it was made for a human body. Despite the damage, you don't see any way to open it and get inside. You glance between the sarcophagus and the needle-like protrusion at the end of the arms above. It seems likely that using this chamber would not be a pleasant experience. I bet this is how he recreates himself. This seems like, you know, or maybe this is how he regenerates. Who knows? Take another look at the sarcophagi, examine these suspended arms. Let's do that one. Cables run from the machines along the dome wall to the base of these suspended arms, each of which is capped with a long needles aimed at the cracked coffin-like chamber at the center of the platform. Gem-like lights flicker dimly at the base of the arm. Well, let's scroll up a little bit. A memory steals over you, and it isn't yours. Sunlight falls through the unbroken dome, casting short, angular shadows behind the Servitors laboring to construct the device you and your assistants have designed. Their efficiency is perfect. After all, you designed them as well. The components are nearly in place. A ring for bounding, a platform for focusing, and 5 injectors, 1 for each tide. It is a moment before you realize the memory has faded and you've spoken aloud. Take another look. No. Inspect the middle ring. You feel the slightest hint of resistance every time you cross the ring, and now that you're paying attention, you note that your breath is echoing in your ears, as though you were inside a glass dome. When you step outside the ring, the feeling passes. You kneel to inspect the broken section and take note that the field projectors inside, they are omnidirectional. The ring exists to protect anyone standing inside it, but also to contain tremendous amounts of power. Let's see, examine the shard on the ground. Jagged fragments of the crystals are intermingled with Sith from the shattered dome above. The crystal shards glitter in the light like captive suns. Pick up one of the crystal shards. Alright. At the rim of the crater, you find a sliver of crystal, sharp as a dagger on one end and smooth on the other. It might make a usable, if somewhat crude, weapon. Crystalline shard. Look for another useful shard. See if we can find something. You sort through the remaining pieces of crystals, but they are too small or too unwieldy to be of any use. Let's see. Ring. Step away. Yeah, we'll step away from now. Let's come over here and take a look at this thing. There's a lot to look at in this room. It's going to be a room we're going to come back to a lot, I bet. Oh, a slate black, unimpressive device hunkers down before you. As you reach out to touch it, the triangle of lights on its casing blaze into life, and an image unfolds in your mind. A towering crystal arches rise above a jagged gray landscape. The air is dead and stifling, and there, at its emerald peak, the image collapses, leaving you staring into the device's triangular array of lights. Command me, the device, or the intelligence within it, says each word carefully etched with its disdain or distaste. Let's see. Who are you? What was that arch you showed me? What commands do you recognize? Show me that arch again. Let's see. Who are you? Your command was not understood. The intelligence says with clear satisfaction, sounding for all the world like it to understand or understood the question, but is choosing not to answer. What was that arch you showed me? Your command was not understood. The intelligence chuckles, its light pulsing. This guy's not going to do anything for me. What commands do you recognize? The three lights throb. Heated air sighs from the device's vents, and then a towering list of commands races through your mind. Fast, too fast to read. You rub your eyes, groaning, and the intelligence chords. It says smugly, kick the device as hard as you can, smashing. No. Show me that list again. Slower, please. If anything, the list pours through your mind even faster than the... Oh my god, this guy is just gonna... He's gonna troll me as much as possible. Cool man, me. The intelligence words, straws. Okay, kick the device. I really, really want to. Show me that list again. Show me the arch again. The device triangle of lights throb in time with the growl of the engine within its casing. The mental image unfolds once more. You see a huge crystalline arch on a jagged field. The arch is divided into rectangular cells, all of which are numbered, and they all appear to be transparent and empty, except at the arch pinnacle, the cell is lit in a brilliant pulsating emerald. The number 0 is printed on the side. Try to remember more details about the strange place. Amnesia. And we do have that skill, so we might be able to do something with it. Let's see. Easy or routine? Each level... Let's go with routine. Hopefully we get it. Actually, it won't let us. I wonder why. There we go. Success. The memory blossoms. You stand before this arch, eyeing the last 2 active cells it once impenetrated to unleash cell number 29. You say, and a twisted artifact appears before you. You claim it with a faint smile, watching the light fade from the cell far above. You flinch from the memory, and it falls apart as you raise your eyes to the arch as it is now. Cell 29 is dark. Now only cell 0 remains. Examine the jagged wasteland. Dry grit whirls across the empty plain. Many kilometers beyond the arch is the faint outline of what seems to be a broken tower, except that it's slowly stretching into the gray air. Close the image of the archway. You release your mental hold on the image of the archway, and it collapses, returning to your reality. So let's see. Show me the archway. Examine the outside of the device. Let's do that. You release your mental hold on the... No, that's the same thing as before. Hum rises from the intelligence engine as you examine its ancient casing. A much newer mechanism on the device side appears to be giving the intelligence its vocabulary and forcing it to speak to you. The device originally creator may not have meant for it to communicate at all. So let's see. Unleash the contents of Cell 0. Cell 0 will now be unleashed. The intelligence spits. Please be advised that the objects you are about to receive is completely safe. Use no caution whatsoever. I'm sure he's lying on that one. The strange contents of Cell 0 materialize before you. Warning, all cells are now vacant. Shuddering Lungum Navu. Intelligence light winks out 1 by 1. I gained 3 XP. Gained item Shatterstar. Wonder what that does. A Grim. Interesting that a cast-off can command the Changing Gods machine. He crosses his arms across his chest. How did you do that? I'm guessing, you know, it responds to the voice of the Changing God, and I was once the Changing God, so that's not too unusual in my book, but maybe he has something going there. Castile rolls her eyes at Grim. Then she looks at you. He'll never stop gnawing at this bone. You know, the truth is wasted on him. She gets a glint in her eye, though I admittedly curiosity, how do you do that? I thought we were talking to it. They didn't hear me talking. Maybe it was all in my head. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am the Changing God. I remember something. I don't think it was my memory, though. Let's see. Residual memories of a past consciousness? Truly fascinating. Scan thoughts. How many memories might this child have access to? I must know. So she has her own motives. Oh, I don't act like you know what that was. It's just as likely the machine triggered something past his amnesia. She gives you a meaningful look, then mimics teeth gnashing like an animal gnawing at a bone. So she didn't like doing that at all. Let's see, what else we got over here? We got some wires. Tiny glowing motes flowing through the interior of this tower, each one surrounded by much smaller motes, like thousands of whirling circling the sun. Okay, well, that's probably circuits going through the ground and coming up through that. Let's look at this over here. Tubes that are attached to this machine appear to be later additions. Someone cobbled the device together, but its functions is unclear. What about anything else? I don't really see anything else in here. Make sure I go over one more time just to make sure we're not missing anything. Don't want to leave anything behind. Now let's come over here to our inventory real quick. I want to take a look at some of these items. Okay, so they did put the weapon in here. Increases difficulty on melee weapon attacks. 2 physical damage. Weapon range intermediate. So we got to be 2 meters away from the enemy to use that. Not a very good thing. Shatterstar, but it doesn't tell us what it does. This many-pointed star has a shimmering bluish surface, highly polished to a touch and sight. Though it appears at first glance to be a crystal, it actually has a very fine mechanical structure. On the slightest impact, even a light trap of a finger, it shatters into many pieces and then immediately reforms. But it doesn't do anything for me, huh? Well, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and end the episode here. I do want to thank you all for watching. If you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely helps grow the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. But more than that, guys, if you enjoy these videos, if you enjoy the game, go, on Steam, let the producers know. Hit that like button on there, that thumbs up. Leave a good review. Let other people know about the game. And, spread the word, because this is a fantastic game to play, and I cannot wait to see more of it. Keep in mind, though, as you're playing through it, if you get into any errors, any problems, I hit that feedback button up there. Let them know what kind of problems you're running into. Go onto the forums, leave your suggestions, because they are reading those things. They do want to know about them, and that makes the game better in the long run if you guys actually help out with the development as well. You can feel part of the team, because you really are. Again, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time.